uh, small business entrepreneurship challenges through social media. And our esteemed speaker is Professor Nalin Abisekara. Let me introduce Professor Nalin Abisekara. He is the head of Department of Marketing Management within the Faculty of Management Studies at the Open University of Sri Lanka. He is a senior lecturer for strategic management, marketing, and research methodology with research and lecturing exposure in Canada, Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia, Oman, Qatar, and India. Professor Abisekara is a certified trainer for mentors and tutors in e-learning with vast experience in local and international education. He is serving as a visiting lecturer for MBA for leading national and international universities based in Sri Lanka. In 2018, Professor Abisekara was awarded as Outstanding Asian Educator by International Association of Scholarly Publishers, Editors, and Reviewers. He is a member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing and a consultant with over 20 years of experience. Professor Abisekara, in his attempt to socialize knowledge, has contributed many articles to leading magazines and national newspapers in Sri Lanka on current issues covering economics, education, and tourism. We are honored to have a person of such expertise and prominence speak to us and talk us about small business entrepreneurship. Professor Abisekara, over to you. Thank you.
Very good morning. Thank you very much, Professor Sam, for the introduction and all. Thank you very much for the all participants for your presence. So we will start the discussion. We are talking about the small business entrepreneurship challenges via social media. So in pandemic situation, people started talking about some threats for their business environment. But even though we are talking about the so-called threat in the business environment, we consider this as a strategic window. So strategic window is a temporary time period open for maybe for the countries, maybe for the organization to grab the opportunity. So this particular pandemic situation, we need to think this is a strategic window open for everyone and try to maximize the potentials. So that is one of the very important ideology which we need to inculcate. So why we are talking about SME sector? So why we need to discuss more on social media? So in order to answer for this so-called question in research, why? So we should talk about the SME sector in the world. So SME sector actually play a huge role in the development of any country. Whatever the country, if we measure the development, the SME sector and the contribution of the SME sector is really important. So we will discuss that with numbers. According to World Bank, SME account for majority of the businesses worldwide and are important contributors to the creation of jobs and global economic development. As we know, if someone asking about to measure the development of the country, we need to always have numbers. We discuss about numbers. Then again, nowadays, people start to discuss, elaborate something on GDH, not gross domestic product, gross domestic happiness. So that also one of the important variable. That is one of the reason where we need to elaborate more on this PQLI, physical quality of life index, including education, health and all. For the small businesses, SME sector represent 90% of the businesses in globe. And also they are contributing more than 50% of the employment worldwide. So that we need to understand the contribution of the SME sector to the globe. So here we are talking about the formal SME sector where it's 40% of the contribution for the national income. But informal sector also we need to take into consideration, then this number will be more higher. So what we need to understand, this particular sector is paramount important for the development of the country. So these numbers really matters. So we are talking a 90%, 50%, 40%. So semi-sector, most of the time, people don't like to discuss more with numbers. There may be certain problem with the financial literacy and all, but these are the numbers we need to take into consideration. So then what about the estimate? Future forecasting is very important. So according to estimate, 600 million jobs will be needed for the globe for the year 2030. So to absorb this growing global workforce, so we need to understand the importance of the SME development. So these particular numbers, which is high priority, should be given for the many governments around the world. In the emerging market, most formal jobs are generated by SME. So it means 10 out of 7 jobs in the emerging markets being created by SME sector. So that is one of the reasons where even universities in globe, they discuss about the importance of SME sector, not the employees. Education sector, we need to think to create entrepreneurs. That is very important, and that need to be vividly elaborated in our discussions. What about Sri Lankan context? Like India, like other countries, especially in South Asia, in Sri Lanka also, SME sector contributing to 45% of the total employment of the country and 52% of the gross GDP of the country. So it means technically Sri Lanka also highly dependent upon to the SME sector. So SME culture is different. I think Dr. Anand Wickramasinghe, my PhD supervisor, so now I think he's serving as a senior lecturer in Sydney Business School. So one of the discussion we had, he elaborated for the importance of family businesses, because countries like South Asian context, in SME sector, we only elaborate something very much common for entrepreneurs. But family business, there should be more research, more publications in order to understand that particular sector. So specifically, there should be need to be elaborated by looking at the potentials. Why this social media? So one of the very famous these days in one of Sri Lanka's own is really famous, and it has been considered as one of the hit even in India. The famous actor, even in Sri Lanka, Amitabh Bachchan also appreciate that particular zone. So people start to discuss about this social media. Not only YouTube, there are many. Now I can remember 7-8 years back, why this Kolaveri, the zone, yeah, they use the particular, the jargon called, we are talking about something called Tanglish, Tamil and English. It's a very simple zone. Those days, that was the success story in viral marketing in globe. I can remember in the Indian Institute of Management, IIM, some professors, they put this on and discuss about the importance of viral marketing. So social media already embedded for our life. So it has been embedded more for our life because of this pandemic situation. So people spend, here we are talking about the online spending hours, right? So this particular slide, spend up to 9 hours per day online. So in our coming slides, we will discuss about what sort of numbers been allocated for the social media as well. So for the businesses, we need to understand the effective way to reach the client. The latest statistics, this is on 30th January 2020. So we are talking about digital marketing in 2020. 3.8 billion people use social media. That is 2020, 3.8 billion people. We need to think this with the numbers. Right? What about the statistics in 2021? This is the latest I have extracted from one article, Global Social Media Statistics Research Summary in 2021, up to 23rd July 2021. So these numbers will give you a kind of a snapshot. So whatever the global digital growth, the population, despite of the pandemic, 1% growth. Whatever the unique mobile phone users, 1.8%. More importantly, the internet users been increased by 7.3%. And so the main theme today, the active social media users been increased to 13.2%, plus 490 million. So we need to understand the prominence of the social media. So what about the social media use around the world as of July 2021? So total number of active social media users, 4.48 billion. Social media users as a percentage of the global population, 56.8. Then annual change in the number of global social media users increased 13.1. Percentage of social media users assessing were mobile phone 99%. Average amount of time per day spent using social media, 2 hours and 24 minutes. So these numbers always tells us an unhidden story that we need to understand. That is really important. So COVID-19, and we are talking an increase in online presence and social media activities. So watching more shows and films on streaming services, 54% increase. Spending longer using social media, 43%. Spending longer on messenger services, 42%. So this messenger services also, we need to understand, it's really important. Listening to more music streaming services, 37%. Spending more time on mobile apps, 36%. Spending more time playing computer video games. Maybe Generation Z, Generation Y, 35%. Creating and we uploading videos, 16%. Digital entrepreneurship. So people are talking about different platforms. So this is really important. Listening to more podcast, 15%. So this digital entrepreneurship, one of the entrepreneur in Sri Lanka and best motivational speaker, Mr. Prasanna Liyanagi. So yeah, one of his discussion, he elaborated more on like people, especially young crowd. So they want to create and upload some videos. And also in the context in Sri Lanka, we can see many potentials because of this technological savvy young generation. That also we need to understand. What are the challenges for SME sector? Even though the big picture, SME sector, I'm talking about something related to Sri Lankan context. Whatever the numbers, so if you really go to the rural areas in Sri Lanka, the digital literacy rate is, we are talking a 99% to 90%, but if you really dig down and see some areas, computer penetration, digital literacy rate is low. So SME sector also, there are inherent characteristics we need to understand. So I'm going to discuss the main points, pivotal points, aligning with some small case studies which we have done. So storytelling is the best technique. So here we are using small cases. Number one, many don't know what is the best. Now we bombarded with YouTube, then Twitter, we have Facebook, LinkedIn, and many more. So people just looking at. So what I'm going to select? Social media literacy, also something like digital literacy. Social media literacy of SME sector. We need to revisit the rate and all. Because what we need to understand, people, we always talking about big numbers and all, but if you just dig down and see, there are inherent, maybe something on financial literacy, maybe something on digital literacy. So that part we need to address. I think this ABA, this seminar conducted by APNG, always I believe we need to explore these things. Most of these people who are in the SME sector, I'm talking about in the context of Sri Lanka, it might be correct even in India as well. So we have to teach them something, not in our, maybe we are talking about something called native language. Because the mother tongue in Sri Lanka, most of the time we use Sinhala and Tamil. So we need to aware them about from that particular mother tongue. That is important. So case number 1, Kusuma Siri, one of the entrepreneur doing business on soft toys in Maharagama. So we asked Kusuma Siri about this SME and about the social media. He just mentioned, so I invested, I don't have many money, but I invested certain portion of money for the social media. So 40% for Facebook, 30% for YouTube, for his videos, 20% for Instagram. Then I asked why. So there is no specific answer. You should be very focused. So this is one of the classic example where most of the time people in the SME sector, they just invest money for social media. But I really appreciate because people, there are many people, even they don't know about Facebook. I'm talking about the baby boomers and Generation X. I also belong to Generation X. But people, there is a tendency for people, like to come and see their social presence. But even though you come and see, you don't understand the real algorithm, the real logic behind social media. So that part we need to investigate. So we discuss about many entrepreneurs on this. So some entrepreneurs, they are very much with this technological update and all, but many more, they don't know what is the best according to their context, according to their business. So we need to address to that as a challenge. The problem number 2, just Facebook post, then nothing. What is that? Again, the case. Restaurant in down south done by Aziz, one of my friend, and now he's an entrepreneur. So he just mentioned, I put one FB photo. Then I asked, then what? Oh, then people will come. Again, I just tell you something on social media literacy. They think now there are certain trends in the market. I also be a part of that trend. But unfortunately, the problem, we don't know the true expectation, implications of that trend. We need to keep people aware. In marketing communication, we discuss about a model called AIDA model. Attention, interest, desire, and action. Not only digital marketers should aware people about these platforms. We need to create an interest with the information, numbers and all. Then we should motivate them with the desire, and ultimately they should do something with the sense. We are talking about business sense. Numbers will give you a kind of a limelight, but This emotional intelligence and business sense we considered as important. So you put a post, maybe you have one YouTube video, then you think people will come. But we need to discuss about customer loyalty via social media, customer retention. In marketing, we elaborated more on relationship marketing, long-term mutually beneficial relationship between the organization and the customer. We can use social media platforms as one of the effective method for customer loyalty. Even for my friend, I advise, if customer put like and one comment, try to get the numbers, try to get the profile of that customer. Please respond to that customer. If customer say, I'm not satisfied with the particular menu of the restaurant today, talk to the customer. That customer should be the brand ambassador for you in long run. In services marketing, we discussed that under services recovery. So these things, we have to utilize these certain algorithms in social media. Because attraction is one of the key driver for relationship marketing, but retention, the loyal customer, we are talking about in marketing, the selling is paramount important. Yes, attraction, but if you have loyal customer, the loyal customer will drive an extra mile to buy your preferred product. So that is really important. Then the target market. So I will discuss something on target market. One of the entrepreneur, Pushparajan, is doing business in Kegol in handicraft. So really creative, different handicrafts and all. So, but unfortunately, Pushparajan also doing his business in social media, but he don't know his target market. Which segment is going to target it? Whether it is only for the young generation, whether it is only for the old generation or combination or geo-demographic variables, nothing considered. Because in social media, we need to understand the dominance. In Western countries, it may be 52, 48%, 52% male, 48% female. But once it comes from for the South Asian context, it's male dominant. I don't know the latest statistics. I have written one article for Daily FT 2 years back, 2-3 years back. It was like 57% male, 43% female. So these numbers, this particular target group, even though I put one message on Twitter or I post certain messages in Facebook, so what sort of segmentation I'm going to target? We need to aware the SME sector, because SME sector, as I clearly mentioned, is really important for the country. So we need to understand the importance and how we are going to help them. That is $1 million question. Then we come to marketing research. The marketing research, most of the entrepreneurs in SME sector, they start to think, I'm talking about these cases in Sri Lankan countries, right? I believe it is very much valid in India and some developing countries. As the entrepreneurs start to think, the concept called marketing research is a luxury product because it has done only by multinationals. But we need to aware them. You go to the, say like shop, observing something, that's also part of marketing research. Because case, the Vishaka, she actually owns her own small education institute, only few students, and doing some consultancy. So then she got a small YouTube with the name of, because here I'm using a different names because we need to maintain the confidentiality. So then again, I asked her, so you put a YouTube video with your presence, with your demonstration, then what to do? So she said, I'm looking for these likes of YouTube. But you can do research. So you can do research with numbers. So you have to say, you have to ask the person which you have been given the YouTube for the traffic source. How many people watch from FB, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn? The traffic source is really important. Not only that, the geography, which areas that you can get the statistics. So these things are really important. Then the viewer age, education consultancy. The viewer age is important. Why I am telling like viewer age is important? Because if you do only for the K-12 education, advanced level education, that age is different. In Facebook, you have one social media campaign targeted only for the advanced level students, maybe international universities. So these things you need to understand. You can get this from the statistics and numbers and the gender. So male-female ratio. What is the perspective of male-female ratio? The gender. So that will give you a kind of idea about your target market. Then subscription status, then again the date, views and all. So marketing research. So I'm talking about part of that, just to see the numbers. That is really important. So here, what I have done, I use some cases to discuss about. I use cases, starting with case of Kusum City Soft Toys in Maragama, an Aziz restaurant in down south, the Pushparajan handicraft in Kekol, and Vishaka education and consultancy. So these are the cases I discussed. Generation gap. The entrepreneurs in generation, we said, maybe generation Y and baby boomers, they used to have the technology with the social media. But still, there are certain entrepreneurs represent the baby boomers and generation X. Generation X is 50-50, right? Like ourselves, but most of the entrepreneurs, still they concentrate more on traditional media. They want to put television advertisement, they want to put radio advertisements, they think that is the best. Open University of Sri Lanka, 2 weeks back, Department of Marketing, we have done a survey by looking at the preferences of the students for advertisements. Now, studies, I think we use the Survey Monkey and all, we got more than 250 respondents. It's like 70-80% digital media. But we invest more money for traditional media. But unfortunately, in the SME sector also, so they have a perception problem. Perception, internal representation of external world, but social media, digital marketers should look in for that as well. So now we discuss about challenges. We should give solutions. What are the solutions? So if I only just elaborate more on challenges, but the flip side should be the solution. According to the study done by us, solution number 1 is mentoring. Solution number 2 is mentoring. Even solution number 3. As practitioners, as consultants, as intellectuals, as academics, we need to give SME sector mentoring. I mentioned about financial literacy, digital media literacy. So we need to tell them the effectiveness of digital media, social media. It doesn't say everyone, they need to spend money. You may be having a small shop, with the word of mouth communication, definitely over there. You don't need to have social media presence, but we need to tell them the importance of social media. Not only that, what are the challenges? So these are the challenges you have, but how you are going to address? I feel as a CSR, corporate social responsibility, our duty is to make people aware about this. I always feel this APNG webinar, this platform is best to inculcate that sort of a, like learning culture among SME sector in the world. In the universities, especially in Asia, this is one of the articles I have published in Daily FT in Sri Lanka, one of the top business newspaper. So I just want to elaborate something on conclusion. In higher education, we need to produce graduate with sense of belongingness. That must not employable graduate, but graduate with entrepreneurial skills. So that is one of the things I stresses. I think I have written this in 1 year back, July 8, 2020. Entrepreneurial orientation is a must for the university. I think university profile of the graduate, we are talking about this entrepreneurial skills, but still the mindset aligned with the employable graduate. That mindset is there. So that this is something where you need to understand. And again, I mentioned, unfortunately, most of the things we discuss be not well articulated for the common people. Most of the webinars, so because here we are talking about the global platform, we don't have that issue. But if you do something for the rural in Sri Lanka, we need to use their mother tongue, the native language. I think even the multinationals in the world, now they understood the creativity, imagination is coming from the mother tongue. So because of that, so I myself with Guru.lk and also with one of my students and now my good colleague Prasanna Linige, we created some videos. So this is based on the book I have written 2 years back called Marketing Sinhala, Marketing in Sri Lankan. We have our native language Sinhala. That book actually I used storytelling method where 3 characters, 1 character representing generation. This baby boomers, Ishanka, that particular character representing generation Y. So the conversation I use, this, with the same conversation, we produced 23 videos to socialize the subject of marketing to Sri Lanka rural sector.
Nalin,
Yes, Sam.
I'll give you a break and just to break up the monotony of the talk.
Yes, no.
JYK De Silva has raised his hand for a question or something. Like
Yes, no problem. Yes, no problem, Sam.
De Silva, please speak.
Yeah.
I think it's by mistake. I'm very carefully listening to this very interesting presentation. I was involved with Professor. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you for that, De Silva. We all needed a bit of a break. Nalin must be tired of talking.
Yeah, exactly. I get maximum 3 minutes, Professor, right? Right.
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, no problem. So this is something very important to inculcate because most of the people, they need to know something on marketing. Because of that, we produce small 23 videos in Sinhala. You can see these videos and all here. Basics in marketing, needs and wants. So we use marketing mix with a different version called mantra. I think mantra we use even in India, the word, everything comes from Sanskrit. Then what is brand, product life cycle, even one video, 2 to 3 videos in social media to keep people aware. So our next step, we are going to use the same scripts and all in marketing Tamil. So these are the initiatives we made to keep the SME sector aware about the subject of marketing, about this like social media and all. That is the basic introduction and something which we want to contribute for the forum. If you have any questions, yes, now you can raise. Thank you for your cooperation and all.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we will first address people that have raised their hands, and Iranjana, please.
Professor
can
Nalin,
speak
hope
now.
I'm audible.
Yes,
you are.
Ranjana. Good morning.
Good morning, good to see you, sir. And thank you very much for the informative session. I think it was very much informative because of the material that you have incorporated with your own experience. Two questions, sir. First is related to the difference between LinkedIn and Facebook, let's say. LinkedIn, sometimes people use just for business purposes. But I think it is more of a platform we develop network. So I would like to know your comments on that, how you differentiate how entrepreneurs or small, medium business people or the people who are engaged in business distinguish between these different platforms as they serve different purposes. And the second question is on responding to negative comments. So I have seen small businesses, they of course maintain Facebook profiles, pages, and they have a review section. Whenever there's a positive review, positive comment, they actually harp on it and they comment on it. But when it comes to a negative comment, they don't really respond. Only have seen one instance where an entrepreneur has responded to a negative comment with a more friendly, pragmatic approach, and he has been able to settle it. So like you said, the service recovery, in service recovery, that would be essential. So I would like to know your comments or thoughts on how you distinguish between different platforms, as I mentioned previously, and also the importance of responding to negative comments as well as positive comments. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ranjana, raising this two valid questions. Question number one on this LinkedIn versus Facebook. So one of my friend in UK, he said in the first day in the degree program in UK, now the students been given an hands-on experience to open their LinkedIn account, no textbooks. So what you need to understand is still SME sector. So the awareness on LinkedIn is not that much good. Facebook versus LinkedIn. Facebook, social platform, the language, the particular articulation we use in the Facebook is different. The LinkedIn business platform, we can get more connections. We are talking about B2B situation, business to business situation, corporate customers. So everything we need to target for the LinkedIn. But in Facebook, social interaction, but again, you have two different segments altogether. Both segments are good, but it rely on the context of the business you are doing. The second question, Ranjana, I agreed. Because you know, the negative comments. So in marketing, relationship marketing, we just discussed how you convert suspect into partner. Suspect into prospect, into customer, into client, into partner. So it means technically if customer is criticizing your product, get the profile, get the numbers, call to the customer, then that customer will write a nice, like appreciation. Maybe in long run, in relationship marketing, sometimes we say you have to get married with the customer, something like that. Service recovery, unfortunately, is very minimum in our context. Sometimes I have seen in some hotels, people come behind us and ask, dear sir, please put a comment on these trips, so different social platforms. But begging is not the solution. Genuine ideas we have to get, especially comes under services marketing. Whatever the customer critical on the product, we need to look after them more because, you know, word of mouth is really strong in our context. I hope I answered for your question, Ranjan.
Yes, sir. Now, begging for comments. If time permits, of course, I would like to share my
no problem. Yes, please.
Iranjana, we will get back to you.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Professor Nalin. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay.
Nalin, there are 5 questions in Q&A.
Yes,
You
sir.
can click on Q&A and
No problem.
we will address the first one from Ananda, posted
Yeah.
at 10:28 a.m.
Yeah.
So I can read the question for you.
No problem, Sam.
Nalin, how do customers find right and genuine businesses, entrepreneurs in social media? On the other hand, how do startups develop trust through social media and convince there are quality and genuine businesses, products, services in the space of the social media?
Yeah. In due respect, I think he's my former supervisor for the PhD. One of the inspirational motivators.
And he still hasn't left you alone.
Yeah, yes, definitely, Sam. So what you asked, sir, Dr. Anand Wickramasinghe, so if you are finding the right and genuine business entrepreneurs in social media, that is a challenge. Because, unfortunately, we do marketing research and all. That might be one of the reasons we are neuromarketing. You embedded the fMRI camera and see whether scanner and see whether customer is genuine. But by looking at the relationship marketing practices and all, there are certain customers, the small mistakes customer tend to forget. So customer like to, always believe you. We are talking about something called customer think this product is a sacred. But in order to convert that long-term relationship from us as SMEs, I'm talking about SME sector, so they have to move towards to a better database management, better relationship marketing. So that is one of the question I think I just want to answer. And I think Dr. Anand Wickramasinghe asking about many SMEs are struggling and closing down.
Yeah,
Yes,
hold on, we will go back to there. Let's address a question from my PhD student, Kamal Bohasani.
Okay.
And his question is, thank you, Professor, for your inspiring presentation. You mentioned attention, interest, desire, and action. May I have more details about why and how these factors are important?
Yeah, that is that. We use in marketing communication, there are many models we use. Hierarchy of effect model and all. There is very interesting model we use called AIDA model. In AIDA, AIDA model, first you have to grab the attention from the customer. There should be different marketing communication. Maybe teaser campaign, right? Teaser campaign. Then once the customer know about the product, at least a brand name, then we should create an interest. Customer think like, okay, what are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? Why you have to buy this product? But that is not the end point. Then we should create a desire for customer to buy product. Maybe by using the celebrities, right? That YouTube video, the song is Maniki Obai Mage. That song I think is very popular even in India. So these are the motives for you to think like the desire to buy the product. But that also not the final point. Action. Maybe you can give some discounts for the customer. So we can have a good conversation, Sam, if you permit me to have a kind of a discussion with your student in London.
Sure, I will share your email credentials with him.
No problem.
Okay, so we move to our a question from our IPNG colleague, Dihan. How does the SME sector promote their products through social media? And what are the available analytic tools?
Yeah, actually SME sector, they promote their product through social media. So they mainly use, as you clearly know, they use the Facebook, they use YouTube to promote their products. So what I mentioned something on maybe YouTube analytics and all, you get the numbers, but unfortunately, by looking at my study, 70 to 80% of the SME sector, they don't know at least we have this traffic source, geography, viewer age, gender, subscription status, source, date, views. They are just looking at how many likes. That part actually we need to, aware, especially in the SME sector. These numbers will tell you, I think we discussed about this, different analytics and all, but these numbers will give you a clear picture. That is one of the responsibility even from us, I always feel. Okay, yes, thank you.
Thank you, Nalin. So we go to back to Ananda Vikram Singh's question, and a very valid one. Many SMEs are struggling and closing down, many of them because of COVID-19. What do you suggest for entrepreneurs or new startups to find opportunities in this crisis situation? I think this is relevant everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, this crisis situation, as I clearly mentioned, you need to think there's a strategic window open for you. Because even though we have closing down the business, I have seen in Sri Lanka context, there are many businesses, new entrepreneurs are emerging, especially in the digital platform. People do experiments. People start to do something different. You know, Charles Darwin, we are talking adaptation. Now, 2 years back, we don't know anything on Zoom. 2 years back, we don't know anything on MS Team. Now, anyway, we need to adapt ourselves in that particular exercise of adaptation. In that particular, again, I will tell you, in that particular exercise of adaptation for the SME sector, I always feel, I always think, this is the opportunity. There are many strategic windows open. So that part also we have to address, yes.
Thank you. So another question from our IPNG colleague, and you definitely know Sagarika. And the question from Sagarika is, are there any specific steps to solve local language content in social media marketing? Quite interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Sagarika, thanks for inviting for me to this forum. And I think, Sagarika, this is really valid. So the language, then we need to communicate from our native language for the SME sector. 75% of SME sector in Sri Lanka, they use Sinhala and Tamil. The video I actually put forward, like the video series and all. So we need to, people start to think this marketing is a luxury product. The social marketing also, people start to think it's in a different media altogether. But we should socialize the advantages, then only they will reap the benefits. Not only in Sinhala, in Tamil also. So we even your institute also, in coming months, coming years, maybe in Malayalam, maybe in Tamil, maybe in other languages. If you do something, there can be better cross-cultural, multiple realities will emerge. Thanks for raising that question, Sagarika.
Thank you, Sagarika and Nalin. So finally, we have a question from De Silva. And he said, it is in the chat window, said, if Professor could explain the importance of B2C, I think business to consumers, and the advantage for larger community.
Yeah, actually B2C situation is like, even we are talking about segmentation variables also, B2B is different from B2C. Especially B2C situation, we are talking about marketing communication. We have two different strategies, push strategy and pull strategy. In push strategy, we push now in pandemic situation, most of the pharmaceutical companies, they push the medical doctors. They prescribe vitamin C, vitamin D and all. That is a different marketing campaign. But in pull strategy, you target in the final customer. If you target in the final customer, especially these tools, analytical tools and all, like these platforms are really important. Because customers are always concerned about, we are talking about something called curiosity. In order to create the curiosity, definitely there should be way to promote the products. Maybe your advertising budget is only, say, like 100,000. According to my knowledge, at least 60 to 70% you have to target for the digital media, but provided that it should be contextual. That also we need to understand. Thanks, Ajita, for the question.
Yeah, thank you, Nalin. And one more question remains in Q&A, again from Ananda. And the question is, what do you suggest for SMEs in poor countries in a subsistence marketplace where people earn less than $2 per day? And 50% of the world population is amongst those. And they lack decent internet and literacy. So what is the solution for them? Because I think paying for internet and affording access to social media comes as a secondary cost, because survival, food, water, and shelter is number one.
Yeah, exactly. I think most of the time we discuss about this in economics. So we are talking about we should have a paradigm shift in the education sector of especially in the developing countries. So, and also number two, traditional exports in Sri Lanka, we are tea, rubber, coconut, but last 12, 15 years, we start to discuss about creative economy. Publications, social media is discussed. We have to start from the Australian opera and going to end up with Brazil reggae. The government help for these creative platforms are very minimum. By looking at this, the people who need it most, like the lesser income people, there should be a mechanism. We are not just put everything for the government. Better collaboration with the government and the private sector. There should be mechanism to address them, to address to their grievances. Social security system embedded with this social entrepreneurship is the best to give the solution. Thanks, Dr. Anand Wickramasinghe, for raising that question.
Thank you, Nalin, and your talk was quite interesting. That's why you are getting so many questions. But this is the last one.
Yeah.
In developing countries, SMEs played a huge role, empowering them with tools and digitizations. How could that impact the country's GDP?
Yeah, that is very important, Sam. What I mentioned in Sri Lankan context, the 45% of the employment, the more than 50% of the contribution of the GDP from the SME sector. But the importance of the SME sector has still been totally ignored by key stakeholders. So I will give you one example. I have witnessed in Sri Lanka one of the young entrepreneur, he just came to the bank, State Bank, to get the loan. But the way the State Bank officer treated for that entrepreneur, the governments are talking about this budgetary and all these allocations. But in the bottom line, the due respect for the SME, people who are in the SME sector, we could not see. That attitude part also we need to inculcate. I think in coming webinars, we can have that sort of a debate. Thanks for raising that question. It's really very
Sure, Nalin. We would like to hear more from you. There's a last minute. Someone has raised a question. Venura Jayasinghe, please, you've raised your hand. Please, you can verbally ask your question.
Yes, Venura, you can ask the question.
Or maybe there was a mistake. Manuja?
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, Venura, we can hear you now.
Sorry, this question is, sir, Venura here, this question is related to Sri Lanka specifically. When we, as SMEs, when we try to use the social media for the payments and gateways, we use our personal credit cards and all. So like the recent policies made by the financial institution in Sri Lanka. So this is also hampering usage of this available technologies specifically when it comes to SMEs. So I mean, my suggestion is like even the the constituents should support SMEs when they're implementing such the restrictions, especially when it comes to international payments and all. So that's a little bit of thought that I had, and I practically faced a couple of days back, sir.
Yeah, I think Venura, that is the problem. As I clearly mentioned, the stakeholders, mainly they do not understand. But what you need to identify the fact that in Sri Lankan economy, we are having many issues. Because the East attack 2 years back, we had, that time we mentioned Sri Lankan economy on ventilator. After the East attack in 2019, now with this COVID-19, it's very difficult for administrators to, like manage this economy of the country. But final repercussion again comes for the SME sector. Thanks for raising that question, Vinod.
Thank you, Nalin. Let's not disappoint people wanting to ask questions. So we'll take one more from Manuja.
Good morning, sir, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And it's a very fruitful session, especially given a pandemic situation in the world, and businesses are also struggling, especially the SMEs, the small businesses. And my question is, now, since this, with the pandemic, the ability to physically do business has become a difficult, a challenging task. So what is your perception in terms of digital marketing, digitalizing the platforms and reaching to the customer and conducting businesses on digital platforms, online transactions? So in terms of a small business can also utilize them and expand their business and just see for future prospects. What are your perceptions on that, sir?
Yeah, Manuja, still I think that's an opportunity. One of the good example in Wuhan last year, where one of the salon they have to close 40% of their shops because of this COVID-19 situation. But then they use the WeChat. In China, they use WeChat. By using WeChat, they have demonstrated they use some demonstrations by looking at different cosmetic products and all. Ultimately, with that, they increase their sales by 400%. Whatever the door closed, there are 100 doors open. I always feel like we should be very positive and we need to study. The COVID-19 issued a message for us to stop and reflect ourselves. We need to interpret that in a proper way. Thanks, Manuj, asking a very valid question.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Professor Abisekara, for such an interesting talk, and the number of questions is an indication of how interesting it was. And thank you for your energy in attending to all the questions and addressing all the questions. We are indeed honored to have you and have you speak, and your research from the field and social media, as you know, is creating huge impact. I mean, look at the amount of money Mark Zuckerberg has and other social media platforms. So we cannot do with businesses nowadays cannot do without social media. Even educational institutions are using social media to communicate with the students and potential students given social distancing and COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank the participants and my IPNG colleagues in helping organize this and get this webinar concluded successfully. I would like to thank the participants for your attendance. There is a suggestion from my IPNG colleague from Nepal, Ashik Rajbandari, to let's have a group photo. So I think we have to turn on our webcam for the group photo if you are willing.
Sam, that's a great suggestion, but then that means we have to promote all the attendees as panelists. That will take some time.
Yeah, that is not viable at the moment. Sorry, Ashik. But thank you to all the participants for being in attendance and for your patience in staying throughout questions and answers. And as I indicated earlier, we organize webinars within the calendar months. You have registered, we have taken your email address, and we will invite you again for our next webinar. And thank you once again, Nalin, and hope you could join us, join the IPNG group and help us promote what